A pizza showed up at a federal judge's house. He had not ordered it. The name on the order was Daniel Andrel, a young man who was murdered in 2020 for the crime of answering his mother's door. Someone used a dead child's name to send a judge a message. This is a real documented story about judicial safety in America right now, and it deserves to be told carefully. Before anything else, it's worth pausing on who Daniel Andrel actually was. In 2020, a disgruntled litigant posing as a delivery driver opened fire at the New Jersey home of U.S. District Judge Esther Salas. Her 20-year-old son Daniel was shot and killed when he opened the door. He was not a public figure. He was a young man who lost his life because of who his mother was. That context mattered enormously for understanding why what happened next is so disturbing. U.S. District Judge John McConnell, Rhode Island's chief federal judge, began facing an escalating wave of threats after he issued rulings against the Trump administration, including temporarily blocking a freeze on trillions of dollars in federal funding. He told the Washington Post that threats included hundreds of messages and multiple credible threats, some directed at his family, including his wife. Then came to pizza. McConnell learned from the US Marshals that an unordered pizza had been delivered to his home, placed under the name Daniel Andrew. He said it was, in his words, the thing that disturbed him more than anything else that had happened. He immediately called Judge Salas himself to tell her, and both of them were, in his words, distraught. CBS News reported that roughly 24 judges nationwide have received these deliveries in Andrel's name, and this reporting indicates similar deliveries have now reached judges in at least 7 states. This is not isolated to McConnell. During a public panel, Judge Salas revealed that state judges in Florida have now started receiving pizzas in her son's name too, meaning this tactic has spread well beyond the federal judges it apparently started with. Federal prosecutors have labeled this specific intimidation tactic pizza doxing, a way of signaling to a judge that whoever is behind it knows exactly where they live. Other judges have described similar disturbing experiences. Judge John Cognure of Washington State said police had to send a SWAT team to his home after a false report of an attack following a ruling he made against the administration. During the same panel, McConnell played a recorded voicemail that had been left for him, a caller demanding he be assassinated and imprisoned. As of the reporting, it's unclear whether anyone has been charged for the threats against him. Here is what makes this moment unusual. Judges typically only speak publicly through their rulings, not about threats to their personal safety. This panel discussion, hosted by a non-partisan group called Speak Up for Justice, was a deliberate break from that norm. Judge Salas, without naming anyone specifically, called on political leaders to tone down rhetoric that demonize judges as individuals rather than criticizing their rulings. Her point was direct: they are inviting people to do us harm. For his part, McConnell said he found some reassurance in public comments from Chief Justice John Roberts, who has said that criticizing judges as individuals rather than their legal reasoning is not appropriate, and that impeachment is not the right response to disagreeing with the ruling. McConnell said that statement meant the world to him. So this is a story about the real human cost of an increasingly hostile climate around the judiciary. Whatever your views on any specific ruling, using a murdered 20 years old's name to intimidate a federal judge is not a political statement. It's a threat aimed at people just trying to do their jobs. McConnell put it simply: I'm not looking for sympathy. I want to be able to just do my job again. So this was the story. I will follow up if there's any update on accountability for these threats. Subscribe if you want that story when it comes, and I would ask that the comments on this one stays respectful. This involves a family that's already lost a child. So see you in the next video.